morning, interwebs. It is 11 o'clock. And you know, when you wake up at like 8:30 or 9, you can get a lot done before 11. Which is very strange because lately I have barely gotten out of bed before 11. So, we have started a new little project here. My parents had a drippy faucet, and I think I've mentioned before that Steve has a background in plumbing. So, anyways, there's now no faucets, and yeah, there's some stuff going on down here. And we are on the way to the hardware store to get the parts to fix their sink so that it will quit dripping and doing all the, you know, watery things that it was not supposed to be doing but was. So we are off to do that with the children's, and we'll see what else happens for the rest of the day. But that seems to be the big project on Steve's end. And then on my end, I am working on making a baby blanket. Another one of those heart-shaped ones, but this one I'm kind of doing in red and black, like a Mickey Mouse-ish theme. And so at this point, I am about, boop, here. So there's the bottom of the heart, and I think I'm about a third of the way up it. But as you know, with a heart, the rows get wider, so each thing takes a little bit longer as you work your way along. So that's kind of our day, and the children are just running around and flipping and spinning and keeping themselves otherwise occupied. So we came and experienced their local Habitat for Humanity restore, and there were a lot more things, a lot more people, both volunteer and shoppers, also as one would expect, and a lot more expensive. But yeah, they didn't have what we needed. And really, they wouldn't have even had anything that we would have needed for, like, our purposes at home either. They just didn't have the same types of things that we really are usually looking for, and they certainly didn't have them at the price point that we are looking for, ever.
They did have a much better cabinet section.
That is true. We probably could have...
Nice had we had that access when we were remodeling our kitchen halfway across the country.
Which at least makes me feel better when I originally had the feeling that we could do the whole thing from recycled parts. That if we lived somewhere where, like, people had modern cabinetry and then we're changing it out regularly, it might have been a thing. We just don't live where that is a reality.
Those rosemary plants were crazy big on the side of the road.
Were they?
Yes. Like those.
Like those? Those are very big. What do you expect?
Yet for some reason, they still charge an arm and a leg for rosemary at the store.
Yeah, well, as you found out, they charge an arm and a leg for everything here, and then add a huge chunk of tax on top of it, too. Now we're at Home Depot picking out faucets. I think we've decided on that one in the chrome, just like it is there. I think it's the closest to kind of what my parents had. They have kind of a weird setup that you can't change very much of, unfortunately. It is about 4:45, and we are off to Home Depot once more. Would you like to give us an update, Steve, on what you spent your afternoon doing?
Well, first I was trying to get a pipe out that didn't want to come out, so I spent a lot of time getting that.
Well, first you would just put the angle stops on to make the angle stops work, and then turned out one pipe basically decomposed in your hand and the other one wouldn't come out of the wall.
Well, no, the one came out nicely, and then the other one came out, the angle stop came off, and the pipe behind it was decomposed.
That's right. Then you eventually had to cut a hole in the wall.
So I cut a hole in the wall so I could get a grip on the pipe, because I couldn't get enough of the pipe wrench on the pipe to get it to turn. And eventually what I did after I got the wall cut is I was able to turn the pipe below it so that I could get a wrench on it, got it to come out. And then I hooked everything back up, put it all together, and there was no pressure on the cold side. And so
you went searching and
found two pipes that were basically rusted closed. So we're on our way to get replacement pipes and fittings so we can put it all back together.
But it's a good thing that we started opening this can of worms. Because it wasn't as though the worms weren't going to be there whether we found them or not. We just found them when we can do the work for free instead of at Plumber rates. So.
Free. There's a second Taco Ranchero trip out of this.
Yeah, well, basically free. So now that I am all
clean.
that also means that there was water to take a shower.
Turned on.
Turned on.
At the house.
Yay.
I didn't sneak off to somewhere else to take it.
And now we're headed to In-N-Out
Yum.
for Yum. My cheeseburger with grilled onions, and then I accidentally ordered my fries with grilled onions. But sometimes accidents are happy, and Steve's got his double-double and his happy face on. And then my mom just likes her plain old hamburger with regular onions. It is 10:50 and I am headed to bed. I know, crazy, huh? That's awfully early for me, but we have a big day tomorrow. We're going to go wine tasting and to see my nephew's like college and apartment and stuff, and hang out with my sister and her husband and their kids, and there might be a jazz concert in there, and wrangling my children, which takes a lot of energy. So that's the plan for tomorrow. So I need to go to sleep, and I will see you then. Nighty night. Nighty night.